Good afternoon, children of the Most High. This is your brother Chukwemeka. So, yes, I'm still here, and I know it's been a while. First of all, I have a question for you, children of the Most High. Why is this global shortage in chips? I don't mean plantain chips, I'm talking about microchips. Why is there a global shortage? And those who are concerned are not speaking up about it. For example, car manufacturers that need these chips in their cars and other electronics that need these chips, they're not even talking about it. It's not changing the price of cars. They just want the whole world to be quiet about the fact that there is no microchip anywhere. Why? At the same time, when there's a global ramp up in vaccine manufacturing, there is a global shortage in microchips. What's happening? Are they putting those chips in your vaccine? How will I know? I know that some of you who are very scientific will begin to say, no, it's not possible to have those chips in vaccine. The vaccine is liquid, chips is solid. Most people don't understand the fundamentals of nanotechnology. The chip by itself is totally useless. It is the components that transmit the radio frequency in it. Those ones can be liquefied, can be done in nanoparticles, and it can be put in any substance. Are they connected? Global manufacturing of vaccines and global shortage in chips, are they connected? Again, I'm not talking about plantain chips, but I don't know if they're connected. It's just that the time we're in now, every clue is a clue. Yeah, for those of you who are around Children of the Most High, those of you who are abreast with what I'm saying in this channel, I did a video talking about IPOB. I'm talking about the military invasion of Igbo land. I've also did a video talking about the planned Islamization of the entire country. Again, what we are seeing today are a culmination of all those things. We are seeing the militarization of the eastern part of Nigeria by the Nigerian military. We've seen a situation where they said that IPOB is planning a terrorist attack, which of course is not true. What they initially thought would happen did not happen as well as they thought. They thought that IPOB would be more violent in their conduct. They thought that Igbos would be more destructive, but Igbos were not destroyers, we are builders. And they were surprised. And so what they did was that they had their own mercenaries in Igbo land causing those destruction. Most of the police stations you see that were burnt, they were not burnt by Igbos, they were actually burnt by Fulanese, and they were burnt by the so-called Boko Haram. They were destroyed by the so-called Boko Haram. And if you ask those who are in the know, the conduct, how those police stations were completely vacated, how the top officers were not even present when these things were done, that will give you an idea of what we're talking about. There was a time, shortly after the funeral for my grandmother, some people were murdered in Umunya, in Anambra State. And the Fulanis that were selling cows around Oka, they were being very vocal in saying that these things were done by some of them, not by the Igbos. They were very vocal, at least to me. I witnessed that on a number of occasions. So that's what we're seeing now. You create a group, you expect them to create violence so that you can bring in military. That group is not responding, so what do? You create the violence yourself and you bring the military. Well, right now, we are seeing the militarization of Igbo land. We are seeing, and then the military, they just don't come and stay. When they stay, they carry out operations, they kill people indiscriminately. You have no idea the atrocities these people are committing. So, but this calls for wisdom, children of the Most High. It's time for us to apply wisdom in what's going on. There are different ways to wage war, and we should play to our advantage. Number one is this: those people who are on ground in Abia State, in Okigwe, in Bende local government, and even some parts of Anambra State, where these operations, and Ebonyi State, where these operations are going on, it's time for you to carefully document what is going on. in video format, in oral format. Speak to people, let them tell you what is going on. Document those and expose it to the world. It's not time to begin to do videos with anger and saying we're going to do this or Hamidike is going to do that. No, that's not time for it. This is time for carefully expose what is going on, because these people, they hate exposure. They are children of the darkness. They walk in darkness. When you expose them, then you can really thwart their plans. They are afraid of international pressure. If we mount pressure internationally, then we'll be able to save our homeland from whatever they have planned. Right now, if you go to Igbo land, our elder ones are suffering. Our ancient of days are suffering because they are going through PTSD. My father in Oka, in my hometown in Oka, my father saw over, is it 7 or 12 gunboats, these vehicles that carry all these surface to air missiles, just driving through from the inside the villages, driving through the government house in Oka the other day, and he was having flashbacks of the Biafra war. This is what our elders are going through now. They are suffering through PTSD because they've lived through Biafra war and they're seeing something similar about to happen. Most families are from the north that I know, and I'm not joking. There are some Fulani and Hausa families that I know that live in Igbo land. They told me, and I'm not kidding again, brothers and sisters, they told me that they are going back home because they have been instructed to leave. They alone know what is going on now or what they have planned for our people. And again, this thing doesn't come as a surprise. I've said this before. These people tried to do this before. They've planned this before. They've planned it. Now you see people like Sunday Igbo talking about joining the Igbo. Well, we don't really know. They didn't join the Igbo during the Biafra war. They were the ones slaughtering us. And we didn't do anything to them during the Biafra war. So we will not put our salvation in anybody's hand. Our salvation will be in the hands of us and our God. And this is the time, brothers and sisters, for everybody to put hands on deck and thwart what's going to happen. Like I said, publicly exposing these people with carefully selected videos is one way to go. Another way to go is that every Igbo in diaspora, this is not time to shut up. This is not time to say, oh, IPOB is causing trouble. No. This is time to speak up. If you live in, I don't know, America, for example, and there is a United Nations, whatever going on, go there and let the world know that your people are being decimated. Go there, and this is how we in the villages here will help, by creating videos of these things going on, putting it in social media, so that our brothers and sisters in diaspora can use this to go and speak. Once the international community open their eyes to this and put pressure on these fags that are running this country, they'll all run away. The next thing is for the clergy. For a very long time, Igbo youths have been invested in the activities of the Catholic Church. A village in Anambra State known as Agolo has more priests than any other location on the world. So it's time for these priests to be useful to their fatherland. And I'm not talking about whatever Mbaka is doing. I'm talking about a concerted effort by not only Igbo but Nigerian Catholic and laity personnel to come out and mount pressure on the church to speak up on the atrocities committed against Christians in Nigeria. Nigeria is the largest populated black nation in the world. We are a significant country. If the Pope should one day open his mouth, that same mouth that he is using to defend transvestites, the mouth that the Pope is using to defend homosexuals, the same money that we are giving to the Pope that he's paying salary for life for people who are transvestite prostitutes, if the Pope will open that same mouth and say Boko Haram is killing Christians, something will be done. The Pope has developed a good relationship with the Islamic world. If the Pope should ask the Islamic world to look into the killings of Christians in Nigeria, these things will not be happening again. And the only way to make the Pope do that is if we mount concerted pressure. This is no longer time to say Your Holiness, His Eminence. No, this is time to save our people. The problem we have is we do not love our people enough. We do not demonstrate that love for our own kind. And that's why, as long as they've not killed you, you are fine. It doesn't matter if they've killed your cousins. But if these bishops, if all these cardinals we have here should, and this is not time to write letter, march to the Vatican and say, Pope, it's time to do something. If the people, the laity people, the ordinary men and women going to church will say, you know, we're not doing harvest and bazaar. We don't have any crops to harvest. The Fulani headsmen have finished destroying our crops. We have no harvest. We are not giving 1 naira in church. Until the Pope do something, something will change. The reason is, again, like I said, we don't love ourselves enough. But this is time. This is an existential issue. This is no longer, okay, who is going to be president or who is going to be vice. This is, are we going to be alive till 2025? That is what is happening now. Are we going to be alive? Because once these people spread their tentacles and crawl all over our homeland, the things we hold dear, the things we hold sacred, will completely be adulterated by these people. It's time to mount pressure wherever we can. And we have that international influence. There are Igbos all over the world. Speak up and speak out. You know all your governors, especially that cockroach they have in Imo State. You know where they live in Obodo Ibo. You know where Willie Obiano lives in Houston, Texas. Go and picket his estate. Go to Sugarland or maybe, I don't know, wherever he's living. Go and picket there. Make your voice be heard. It's time to have a concerted effort to save our motherland from destruction. Now, another thing that we can do, and this is extremely important, is every one of us, we can abstain from buying Fulani cows. All this Obuefi and Obu, whatever we call ourselves, it's time to buy the Igbo cow. Or instead of be Obuefi, be Obuewu, buy goat. Or instead of Obuewu, be Obuoke, buy rat. Let us eat rats for a year. Let us eat lizard. Because believe you me, if war breaks out, you will even be looking for the lizard to eat and you won't see. It's time to say, you know what, Fulani, we're not eating your cows anymore. Let us focus on our own and develop our own. It will take us only maximum of 3 years and we are in it. So we have to make the sacrifice to preserve something. Nothing good comes easy. Most of you are thinking that, oh, if anything comes out, the Americans will come, the British will come. They won't come. Believe me, it even plays into their agenda. Look at during the EndSARS protest. The Americans didn't care. They didn't even talk about it at all. They won't come. It is you who force them. It is you who know that these people hate being exposed. And when you expose what they're doing, they will be forced to change their tactics. So we have to do our part. Again, I know that it's so sad that Christianity has told us that we don't need to do anything. All we need to do is wait and Jesus will come and do it. God does not help those who don't help themselves. It's a very simple thing. Jesus will save you, I agree. But you have to start saving yourself first. Because if you don't start saving yourself, Jesus has a lot on his plate. Believe me, I can tell you that. So, our motherland is under attack by these nefarious nomads that rule us. And they have, I don't know what they planned with the new chief of army staff, to the extent that almost 45 generals have to retire. They had to go and pick out this guy from the bottom of the table, wherever he is, and made him chief of army staff. Whether they plan to use him to execute something, we don't know. But the moment he was made chief of army staff, he shut down the River Niger bridge. Nobody goes to the east. Nobody comes out. This is how. Who gave them the right to stop the constitutional freedom of movement in the east? Who gave the military that right? Now, wherever you go in the east, wherever the military is, if you are driving through where they are, you have to stop, carry a motorcycle in your head, everybody will surrender and walk past. And they can pluck off anybody they want, they can kill anybody they want. People are scared of traveling to their homeland because they can just kill you and say that you are an unknown gunman or ungun men. Nobody knows what's going on. This is the kind of chaos that they have created in our homeland. And And again, while I appreciate and admire the gallantry of these young men who try to oppose in a number of ways, that is not the way, in my opinion, that is not the way to oppose. You have to, like they say, in Gangakedi violations, you have to organize yourself and organize your efforts. You cannot go destroy your own property and expect sympathy. It's not going to happen. And sometimes when you do these things, they will just um how will I put it? They will now step on it and then do more and accuse you of doing this. So far, I've appreciated the conduct of our people, and no matter what this will throw on us, we tend to absorb it and tend to move on. But this will keep throwing more. Again, especially the cockroach that was selected by the Supreme Judge, the Supreme Court in Imo State. And that's why that state completely is so destabilized now. The heartland of our motherland is completely destabilized. But again, in all this thing that is going on, do not forget to be prayerful. Do not for your brothers and sisters, wherever they may be. Do not forget to offer sacrifices for peace and protection of our people. We are not scared of these people. We have faced them before, and we can face them again. But we know the damages that can be done. That can be done on our people. Every one of us that live in Lagos or outside Igbo land can easily forfeit our properties to protect our motherland. But we know the damage that can be done. And so, first of all, we'll sought for peace. And then we'll use concerted effort and look for a way to overcome these people. For those of you who are thinking that Nnamdi will just bring Israel and they'll come and do this, or bring the British and they'll come and do this, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm sorry. We have to be the one to put pressure. And right now, the best form of pressure we can apply is through the Catholic Church. We have to force that Pope that makes our time to dance samba in the altar, that makes our time to feed prostitutes. We have to force him to talk about our homeland, to talk about the genocide that has been perpetrated on our people. I mean, they take our time to remember Armenian genocide how many hundred years ago. That's not happening now. We're talking about the one that's happening now, and that's the genocide on our people. We have to force them to talk about our people, and when they do, then the change that we're expecting we can see. May the Most High of Majesty bless you. I know that what's happening now will tire everybody down. For example, globally, you're thinking about the vaccine and whatever they are putting in it, and also thinking about international situation that's going on, and then domestically, the same thing. Even if you're not in Igbo land, your financial treasures are just falling. The naira is devaluated every second again because these barbarous nomads, they benefit from a devalued naira. That's why the naira is going to hell every second. So the whole thing is just happening. Brothers and sisters, be encouraged by the scriptures. The Bible of Daniel, the scripture in the Bible in the book of Daniel, chapter 7, was very clear that they will wear down the saints. All these things will be done to wear us down. Okay? The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 25. He said the beast will wear down the saints of the Most High. And I'm going to do a separate video on the book of Daniel, chapter 25, because it's the same thing that was repeated in the book of Revelation. They are doing these things to wear you down. Brothers and sisters, do not be discouraged. Continue. The Most High is with us, and the Most High will not forget us. May the Most High of Majesty bless us. Salam.